Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Telluride, Colorado. We're here, hopefully not interrupting too many people, at the GMC Sierra heavy duty Duramax press briefing, which is about to start. So we're going to give you kind of what we see in terms of the presentation that we get. This is going to be a two-part presentation. First we're going to learn about the company, and then we're going to learn about the truck itself. So here we go. Anyway, we're live here, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to go live. If you've been watching our videos from the road, our Final Frontier videos, you know that we're here in Telluride to drive and tow with the new GMCs. Keep in mind, these videos are live, so the video quality may not be the grandest, but if you're watching it live, you'll excuse it. If you watch it later on YouTube, then it's been recorded live. So that's what's going on. So usually these presentations are two parts. The first part is kind of a state of the company. They tell us what GMC is doing, how many trucks they're selling, basically an overview of where the company's going. Oops, are we going? No, you can go, it's all right. And then we'll get a proper presentation on the new Duramax. Now, the Duramax has 910 horsepower.
Pound-feet of torque.
And 945 pound-foot of torque. It's the most powerful vehicle in the class. 445.
You just reversed it. That's all right.
445 horsepower, 910.
It's a brand new engine.
I know. Thanks, guys. I'm a little frazzled because we've been trying to do this live video. The idea was to start downstairs and show you the trucks and then come up here, but that didn't work out, unfortunately.
What's the most horsepower in the class?
Yeah, it's the most horsepower in the class. It's a big ass truck. Let's put it that way. That's the way. And we'll be towing with it. And we'll have videos, complete review of it up on TFL Truck. Not a live video, but a regular review of it. So that should be fun because we get to go and tow ATVs. How much are we towing? About 10,000 pounds today, Andre?
Yeah, there's a camper trailer as well.
Camper trailer. There's a couple ATVs. There's a toy hauler that we'll be towing, really get a sense for the truck. And we're going from here in Telluride. Why don't you show them Telluride, Andre? It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous day. It's sunny for the first day in about a week or a few days. I can't see your face. It doesn't matter.
I'm probably too dark, but check out Telluride, guys.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, this is why we live in Colorado.
And this is part of our Frontier vlogs because we took our Frontier truck, the Final Frontier, to come this way. So those of you guys wondering about that, yep, that's what it is. And we're here in Telluride for the GMC event. And they're going to start any minute now.
And why don't you turn it over to me? So the way this works, guys, just give you a little behind the scenes is GM flies us. In this case, we drove out here. They put us up in this nice hotel, give us dinner. They provide the trucks for us. They provide what to tow for us, and then we get to drive, tow, and do the review. And we are very transparent about that. If we didn't do these programs, then we wouldn't have access to these trucks because we get a first drive, and we get to basically provide them to you before anybody else. So that's why we're here. And the manufacturers tend to pick beautiful areas like this because, well, they want to show off the truck, right? They want someplace beautiful for it to drive, and it helps us because when we're making videos, it also looks very nice. We're still waiting. No, we're still discussing. So as soon as the presentation gets started, we'll get going. We have all three of the dualies at the office right now. So we've got the Ford, which is brand new. We've got the Ram 3500, which is probably the oldest, definitely the oldest of the trucks now. And we have the Silverado as well at the office, and we're going to be taking up the Ike Gauntlet next week. But before we do that, we had a chance to come out here and actually drive these trucks. Andre, are you figured out what we're going to tow yet?
Well, for the Ike Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have a few ideas because we have
Can I tell my story?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so 2 years ago we towed a half track, and we almost caught it on fire. If you remember that, we did a video where Nathan tried. It wouldn't start. It was a white. It weighed about 14,000 pounds, and Nathan and Mr. Truck decided that the best way to get it on would be to drive it up onto the trailer. Unfortunately, it wouldn't start because there was a problem with the fuel line. So Nathan had the great idea of actually pouring fuel into the carburetor as the truck was rolling, and you can imagine the hilarity that ensued when the
You could see that the video on our channel. Yeah.
Anyway, the guy who lent us the half track unfortunately passed away, and we were trying to find something visually interesting, and I actually tracked down the guy who bought it, and he doesn't live too far from us, and he lives in Longmont actually. And I was talking about borrowing it again this year, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I have a Sherman tank." And I'm like, "Done, we'll take it." I was so excited. We found a Sherman tank to tow up and down the Ike Gauntlet. How cool is that? And, you know, setting up logistics, talking to him, and as I'm about to hang up the phone, I go, "Oh, by the way, how much does it weigh? How much do you think it weighs?"
I thought it weighed 60,000 pounds.
Wrong, 80,000 pounds. So until we do a TFL semi-trailer, we won't be towing a Sherman tank up and down the Ike Gauntlet. So we were so excited. So the tank obviously fell through. So now we're scrambling to find something else to tow. If you have any suggestions, or if you're out there and you live in the Denver area and you have something cool, let us know. We'd love to tow it. It needs to be about, what, 14,000 pounds?
Yeah, about 14,000 pounds is what we need, and it could be a piece of equipment like a grader or a backhoe,
a tractor,
Uh-huh.
something that's just, you know, cool, but it's got to be 14,000 pounds. It can't be a tank. At least
Unfortunately.
not a real one.
But-
I think, you know, Sherman's a small tank, right? The Patton was bigger, the Tiger was bigger. How heavy can it be? I guess when you have, you know, metal that's that big in terms of armor, it gets very heavy very quickly.
And we do have a 30-foot Big Tex gooseneck trailer with a 25-foot deck, so we can only carry something that's about 25 feet long.
Andre almost found us a grader. What happened with the grader?
It was
Earth
32. Yeah, it was 32 feet long. So unfortunately, could not put it, you know, on the trailer.
Yeah, so we're still looking for that. I'll give you kind of a heads up of what's coming tomorrow. We did a performance test of the Chevy Colorado midsize truck versus the GMC Canyon Duramax, and we did that on the drag strip, Andre, right?
Yep, at the track.
See which one's faster, 0 to 60. So that video is going to be published tomorrow. So we've been doing our performance drag strip videos every Wednesday. So look forward to that tomorrow, and hopefully these guys are going to get started. Should we
Yep,
go ahead, Andre?
and that video is going to be on the Fastline Truck channel, and of course we'll be publishing that, all of our videos as well as other news, to tfltruck.com.
Yeah, so go to TFL Truck for more truck news. And what video do we have today on TFL Truck, Andre? If you guys are kind of sick of the quality of these live videos, just keep in mind if you're watching this live, it's fine. If you watch it once it's recorded, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna get a little the
Pixelated, yeah.
pixelated, and the sound sometimes isn't the greatest. But we don't control that. A lot of people are saying in the comments, "Hey, why don't you guys use a better camera?" Ooh, that's YouTube. You know, our camera shoots at 1080. It's YouTube that's causing this issue.
Yep, and today we published a Nissan Titan MPG loop where we ran it towing on the highway. And Roman, I think they're also signing up people for driving.
Yeah, we've already
Did you sign
Yeah,
up?
we've already signed up.
Okay.
We're gonna be towing the ATVs to start with.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's kind of a lightweight for the big diesel.
Yeah,
But
still very lightweight.
I want to also show them the camper, and we'll do a separate video for that.
Okay, good. We're good. All right, we're good. Come on in.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. If you didn't, I think I met everybody already, but if you didn't, I'm Jenny Ecclestone. I'm the GMC Communications Manager. I want to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day, and there's some treats up here. If you are missing your Valentine and want to bring something back, there's some cute little like candy.
Sierra is my Valentine.
Yeah, the Sierra. She's quite comfortable. You know, I think very happy with how she performs. But no, we're really excited that you all joined us tonight. Hopefully you're adjusting to the altitude just in time for us to depart. But we're really glad to have you here, and we've got a great team here today to explain all about our new Sierra Denali HDs. And I wanted to quickly remind you just about where a lot of information will be, and if you guys are posting on social media, the hashtags that we like to use for some of that information. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar, but media.gmc.com. You also got the USBs in your back packages, and then it's hashtag GMC Sierra and then hashtag Denali. So you can include HD on there. The ones that we track from a social standpoint are just those two. So that's, if you want kind of the GMC backing of your post, that's the best way to do it. In case you guys didn't know, the password is in here too. That's what it is right now in case you need it really quickly. We're, like I said, just super excited to have you here. We approach this program from a fairly customer-focused mentality. We wanted to make sure that even though you guys are all fairly traditional automotive and truck riders, that you got to experience the vehicles in the way in which our customers would. So we're starting here in Telluride. This is meant to be kind of the Denali side of our brand. As we make our way through Paradox, Colorado, it's kind of a literal and figurative paradox of the brand. You'll kind of be in this valley, get to experience a lot of fun toys and different scenarios that we've set up for you. And then we'll make our way to Moab, which is kind of the more capable, a little bit more of that side of the brand. So this was all meant for you to experience the different elements of our customers, and then not just, to us, we could have put sandbags in the back of the truck, we could have done a lot of things to showcase the different capabilities of it from a payload and towing perspective, but we really wanted you to experience it as our customers would. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me or any one of our folks here, and I'll quickly run through. We also have Kelly, as I'm sure you all know, and then Trevor, and you got to meet Trevor last night. He's the newest member of the GMC communications team. And then for our incredible subject matter experts, we've got Eric Stanzik, our chief engineer. We also have, in the back there, Daryl Eric. And then we also have Tom Dye. So any questions specific to towing, powertrain, any of that stuff, you'll want to direct it to those three. And then I would like to ask Stu Pierce to come up and give us kind of a GMC marketing overview, and then a little bit of an overview specifically on the HD customer. So Stu.
Cool. All right, well, welcome, and hopefully you can keep looking over here as opposed to looking out there. It's a little bit of a diversion that's pretty attractive. It's finally nice we can finally see that out here. So anyways, I'm going to give you just a little bit of an overview on GMC as a brand, a little bit on Denali, and then a little bit on who is the customer that GMC is targeting with our Sierra HD. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time though, because I know Eric's going to follow me. He's got the nuts and bolts of technical specs on the powertrain, and that's what I know you guys are most interested in. So I'll make sure I give him most of the time. So okay, first of all, a little bit on GMC. A strong premium brand established back in 1902. A very rich truck heritage, and I think that truck heritage is an important part. A lot of brands have a full lineup of vehicles, cars, SUVs, trucks. We're strictly a truck and SUV brand, and that makes us pretty unique in the industry. There's only a couple of others that are similar, and in fact with that real truck heritage, it gives us this real strong capability foundation that we can really build on, and of course the Sierra HD is really the epitome of that capability. We are GM's #2 volume brand in North America. GMC commands the highest average transaction price of any non-luxury brand in the U.S. market. So people are willing to, we talk about the fact that we are a premium brand, that people are actually paying more to get a GMC. It's not to say that we're expensive. We think we have got a great value, but it's just that the kind of vehicles our customers are looking for tend to be more highly contented vehicles, the kind of vehicles you're going to drive today. If we were a Fortune 500 company, we'd be number 150, so as just GMC, we are a pretty good sized brand in the U.S. We're the 11th highest selling U.S. brand, and again, that's with no cars. And we conquest at 42%, so 42% of our buyers are new to GMC. So, we feel really great about that. Sort of who we are, we offer a distinctive alternative to people who have high expectations, and that's really who we talk about. Our target customer is somebody we call the disciplined achiever, and I was giving Jenny a hard time because our kind of, when we started here, because we started 15 minutes late, our kind of buyer is very specific. They know what they want things a certain way, and like when they want to start, we're going to start on time, and everything's going to go the way it's supposed to go. They're very planned out, very organized, and that's the kind of people we're targeting. They have high standards for themselves and for others. They're willing to pay a little bit more for quality and attention to detail. And in fact, our top reason for purchase as a brand is quality. So, that's really what people are looking for when they are buying a GMC. So our portfolio is growing. We know we've got great trucks. That's what we're here about this today. However, we just brought back our Canyon, bringing in a lot of new customers to the brand. We introduced the new Terrain back in Detroit here about a month ago. In one of the largest and fastest growing segments. We think we're going to have a much stronger product in that segment. And of course, we launched our new Acadia last year, and that vehicle is doing really well, and in fact has grown sales now to a new high level. So let's talk a little bit about Denali, and this is one of the pictures I really love because it really is what this vehicle is all about. Sierra, it's capable, it's strong, it's bold looking, and very, very premium. So it's really what it's all about. So Denali, we like to call it's the ultimate expression of professional grade. Delivers on our brand promise of vehicles that are bold, they're capable, and they're precisely crafted. So it's that unique combination that really makes GMC the premium brand that we are. We've sold over 1 million Denalis. We just sold the 1,000th Denali here a couple of weeks back. So we've got 1 million of them since we launched the brand back in 1999. And last year was the first year that we actually sold over 25% of all GMC sold were Denalis. So that has been growing steadily, and we think it's an area that we really can build on. So Denali, as a brand, actually an interesting fact, it actually outsells a lot of well-known luxury brands like Land Rover, Jaguar, Porsche. So Denali, given 25%, well over 100,000 units a year, in and of itself is a pretty strong brand from a volume perspective. And with the launch of the Canyon Denali here 6 months or so ago, we now have a Denali vehicle on every one of our vehicle lines. Okay, so turning to Sierra HD, which is why we're here. What makes a Sierra HD Denali buyer different than a typical HD buyer? So, and as I said, it's an important part of GMC. So, what we've really found through a lot of research and talking to the people that are buying these kinds of vehicles is all HD buyers are looking for vehicles that are very, very capable, and also we know they spend a lot of time in their vehicles. So it's all about towing and payload for some, but it's primarily about towing big trailers, towing for long distances. So that's a foundation of anybody that buys an HD truck. So our Denali buyers absolutely put a very high priority on those things. But what makes them different than all the other HD buyers are the things here on the right. So the guy buying the Denali is also looking for a much higher level of refinement, a much higher level of exterior styling, so there's sort of this bold styling, interior comfort and quietness, and ride quality and ease of driving. And those are the things I think that we want you to experience today when you drive our vehicles, because we think that's really our point of difference. If you really get a chance to spend some time in our vehicles, they are very comfortable, they're easy to drive, they make driving and pulling a big trailer a long ways across the country, they make it relatively easy. And we know that that's probably the most important thing for these people. So if they're going to spend a lot of time pulling these big trailers, they've earned the right, in their minds, they've earned the right, they can afford to buy a little bit nicer truck that will make that job a lot easier. And Eric's going to get into a lot more details about how we do that. So how are we doing so far with the Sierra HD? We actually feel like we are really on a winning path. Sierra HD in total has the highest average transaction price in the HD segment, so that's driven by Denali. But people are paying more for our vehicles. We're an interesting fact, and one that we like to really track, looking at just HDs sold above $60,000, so people, what they actually pay for a vehicle, a full-size, heavy-duty truck. About 20% of that market is above $60,000, so the top 20%. In that sub-segment, we're number 2 behind Ford. We outsell Chevy, we outsell Ram, we almost outsell them together, but not quite. And we've been growing. We're about 25% of that market right now, up from 9% with our previous generation truck. So we've almost tripled our share. So we're seeing that grow year on year. Those people that are, if they want a really nice truck and are willing to pay top dollar for a really nice truck, they are choosing to come to GMC. We also track, our 2 premium models. We also have an SLT that's a very nice truck. So we track our share of our total sales that are represented by our Denali and our SLT. That's now about 75%. So I was talking with somebody last night about, do we still sell work trucks? And absolutely we do. We have dealers that are in that business, and we sell vehicles to customers looking for those. But our real focus is really more on the personal use customer and on the higher end, and we're seeing now 75% of our trucks are really pretty highly contented with leather interiors and a lot of the amenities that, you know, the more high-end personal use customer is looking for. An interesting point, over 90% of our Sierra HD Denali's are diesels, so that's why we're here today. That's why it's so important to GMC to feature this new diesel, because it is what our customers are buying. And Denali accounts for over half, or I guess nearly half, of our HD sales. So again, that's why we're driving them today. It is our volume truck. So a lot of other people, Ford, Chevy, they would say, okay, yeah, they've got high-end models, sort of their niche model. This is our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is Denali. That's really our focus in the HD segment. So, so with that, it's a little bit on the customer, and I'm going to be with you the rest of the day, so happy to talk more about it. But now for all the information you really want to hear about, I'll turn it over to Eric.
Thanks, Stu. All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So what Jenny alluded to when she kicked it off, and what Stu stepped into very directly, is our focus inside the company in general, and more specifically inside GMC, is putting the customer at the center of everything that we do. That is paramount to our goals to hit our brand equity and what these high demand customers really want. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you, give you a little bit of insight into what our strategy is as we pursue that. I'm going to get into some nuts and bolts to tell you exactly how we go about executing that strategy as well. Okay? So it's all about towing in the heavy duty market segment. I think we all know that. For us inside of GMC, our strategy is we want to give them towing confidence, and we also want to recognize that what they have behind the truck is often their most prized possession, whether it's something they use to work and earn their income. Many small business owners, medium business owners actually buy Denali's for both work and play, or it's their lifestyle that they're pursuing, whether it's towing a boat, a fifth wheel like you'll see today, or a trailer with some snowmobiles or snowcats, something like that on the back. They're all about pulling something behind them that is exceptionally important and valuable to them. In fact, oftentimes what they're towing behind them is more expensive and sometimes many times over than the actual tow vehicle itself. So for them, it's all about giving them towing confidence and taking care of their prized possession behind the truck. So how do we give them a confident towing experience? Well, it's pretty simple. They want to know if they can accelerate when they want to, they can stop when they want to, and we really don't want to tax them with burdening driver load. It should be intuitive, and it should be relatively easy to control the truck, especially when they're towing a trailer. So I want to give them confidence in each one of those areas. So how do we focus on giving them confidence? Well, we put a very specific strategic focus on some of the key areas, whether it's acceleration, braking, handling, and other technologies. The principal concern here is how do we make the towing experience as low stress as possible, as intuitive as possible, so that we're not making the driver work too much and tense up and white knuckle as they're going around windy roads in a mountain, climbing a high grade, or coming down a grade, which can be it can be very stressful if you don't have the right equipment. So how do we go about doing that, and what is our key focus in doing this? I show this chart which shows basically the volume of sales for July of 2015 through June of 2016. And the purpose of showing you this chart here is the bulk of the buyers in this segment actually buy trucks with less than 20,000 pounds towing capability. And we have strategically targeted doing an excellent job at the bulk of the market. In fact, 86 out of 100 heavy duties that are sold are rated less than 25,000 pounds. And when you look at trucks that are capable of towing over 27,500 pounds, it's 1%. So when we take a look at how we take our resources and how we focus them on the benefit for our customers, we strategically not chased a claim for a max towing number. We said, let's give this customer the bulk of our usage, the best towing experience that we can. So how do we do that? Well, as you know, it all starts with the heart and soul of the truck, and that is our brand new L5P Duramax diesel. I'm very proud to say that our Global Propulsion Systems team has delivered an excellent product here, both in terms of horsepower, torque, as well as meeting the new stringent emissions requirements that rolled out in 2017. We are SAE certified net 445 horsepower. That is segment leading. We have 910 pound-feet of torque. That's 19% over the outgoing LML 6.6 Duramax diesel, 12% more horsepower. We did that while reducing emissions by 35%. When you think about any one of those parameters, they're very difficult to do any one of them at one point in time. To do them together is exceptionally difficult. So what does that deliver in terms of performance? These are just some numbers that we've measured internally. Our current 2017 L5P Duramax diesel versus the outgoing. So for those of you who have a bit of a lead foot and like to do 0 to 60 times, we've actually measured the new truck at 0.7 of a second faster unladen versus a 2016 LML. Now, when you're towing a 10,000 pound trailer, which is a very common load for folks in this segment to pull, we want to know what's the passing time. How do we perform when doing a maneuver like 50 to 70 on a highway? We're actually 1.5 seconds faster with the new truck than we were with the outgoing LML. And then ultimately, if you're towing a big load, like 23,000 pounds, and you're going up a significant grade like Davis Dam, we actually outperformed the current truck by 40 seconds climbing that grade. We're pretty proud of that performance. So at the end of the day, I mentioned achieving these things which are customer-facing benefits. Our customers will actually notice this in a truck. That is a significant accomplishment, all the while improving emissions and meeting the stringent requirements. As I mentioned before, just meeting emissions is a tall task. To be able to do that and provide the actual customer a benefit above and beyond, being legal to sell and certified, is an accomplishment that I think our entire development team is proud of. We've given the customer actual performance improvements as well as met the stringent requirements. So let's talk about our mission with this engine. We wanted to ensure that we continue to provide the unique capabilities that many of our customers, our Duramax customers, have come to know and love. It is a compact and light engine package, and I'll go through some of the details with you here shortly. It is a very sophisticated propulsion system, and we pride ourselves on the level of integration that we've taken that engine, put it into our truck for a seamless, complete package. We pride ourselves specifically in the Denali and in the entire GMC lineup as having a high level of refinement that Stu mentioned. That's what our customers demand, and we think that we've delivered on that promise. And then, as you all know, the Duramax diesel and the ALUSON A1000 transmission is a tried and true, dependable, and very reliable power cube, and we're continuing with that legendary performance and reliability with this new package. So let's talk a little bit about the engine architecture, and for those gearheads, I'm going to get into a little bit of nuts and bolts here, hopefully satisfy your technical itch here. Let me start by what has not changed. Basic engine architecture dimensions and configuration have not changed. It's still a 90-degree V8. We still have a 103 bore, 99 millimeter stroke, and the basic valve train architecture and setup hasn't changed. The geometry, as well as it being gear-driven, that valve train is largely carryover in terms of its architecture. What has changed? Basically everything else. I mean, from the block, the crank, pistons, piston rods, intake, heads, turbo. I can go through all of these, but it has been a major redesign. 90% of the parts in this truck, or in this engine, are brand new. And I'll get into a little bit of detail with you, and I'll be happy to answer questions as we go throughout the day today. But there's been a considerable amount of development and technology put into this engine to deliver not only emissions that we have talked about, but also the power and torque numbers. Okay. Not only the engine, let's say, core architecture parts have changed, but also some of the hang-on parts, as well as performance systems in the engine have changed. We're providing more flow and boost to allow more air to come in the engine. As you process more air, you typically process more power and torque. We allow higher exhaust temperatures in this package, and that's key because that allows you to keep peak torque and power under very severe conditions. You don't have to pull back due to overheating conditions. We allow to stay at that peak temperature so that when you're pulling a grade in high ambience with the trailer, you get the maximum benefit in terms of power and torque to the road. And how do we do that? How do we deliver this power and exhaust? We deliver an improved power and exhaust braking capability. We do all of that with some of the changes that are shown up here. We have an integrated head port and plenum system. We don't have unique chambers that we had before. It's been a completely redesigned plenum and head profile. We've redesigned the camshaft profile. We have an all-new electronically controlled turbo and an all-new turbo actuator and controls, and I'll get into some of the benefits that we have there. It's a variable vane turbocharger. We continue with our high level of refinement, which you'll experience today live. As I mentioned, we have high temperature capability not only in our exhaust manifolds, but our takedown pipe and the rest of the cold side of the exhaust system. We've implemented Inconel gaskets, and that allows us to actually survive a very stringent durability profile that we run all of our engines through. And then finally, a brand new fuel system, and that fuel system has solenoid injectors. We actually have the ability to allow 7 independent injections per cycle, per engine cycle, and that control, in addition to bringing the electronic control module, the engine control module in-house, as well as the software and calibration in-house, it allows us to very closely control the amount of fuel going to the engine, and that's what allows us to not only meet the emissions, but also provide excellent idle quality and excellent power under load. So let's talk about that power and that torque. I think everyone likes to see curves, and these curves kind of speak for themselves. In red is the LML 2016 power and torque numbers. Peak horsepower, out here a little above 3,000 RPM at 397 horse, and peak torque around 765. We've had, as I mentioned, a 12% increase in horsepower, 445 net, market leading, 910 pound-feet of torque, and we hit that right around 1,650 RPM. In fact, we get 90% of our torque at 1,550, and it's a very flat curve. We stay very high all the way throughout the RPM range, and that's something that you feel when you're driving the truck, especially under load. You can feel that when you're stepping, leaning into the throttle, crowding it. You can feel having that torque at such a low RPM range. But it's not only about putting power to the ground when you're actually towing uphill, but we have a big benefit in our new turbo and the way we've architected the diesel exhaust and braking as well. Controlling your load coming down the hill is a key safety item, and it's exceptionally important to build that confidence. We've given an increase in that braking capability with the new turbo and how we control it with the variable vanes, that we actually have a significant improvement when stopping and actually coming to a stop and slowing down hills. As I mentioned, it certainly enhances the ease of trailering and safety, and we believe that this is leading edge capability that sets us apart from our competition in regards to towing confidence. We've also made the engine quieter at idle. The source noise of the engine is low. We've done that in a few different ways. We've added rocker and valve train acoustic treatment on top of the engine. We've also got a multi-layer and multi-material oil pan that goes from an internal aluminum die-cast aluminum inner shell, and then we actually have a laminated steel pan that helps eliminate or helps reduce irradiated noise coming out the bottom of the engine. So we've actually put content into the engine to make it quieter, and you'll experience that today as well. Now let's talk about the ALUSON transmission. There have been some changes, not dramatic, but I think important for allowing us to deliver the power that this engine is providing and get it to road reliably. First of all, we got some upgrades for 2017. We've made strength improvements specifically to the output side. The yoke itself has been beefed up to handle that higher torque and to make it reliable through the life of the vehicle. We've also had some torque converter changes. Those torque converter changes include some internal minor changes, but also some control changes to allow us to have better reliability with the increased horsepower and allow us to meet our emissions. We all know that this transmission is legendary in terms of its performance, and I think you'll see that our customers are going to have the same expectation, the same results with this changed transmission enhancements we brought forward for 2017. And then as we look at the modes that we provide in transmission, we certainly have grade braking with the exhaust brake that's integrated very well together. When you use tow haul mode, you get tow haul with the exhaust brake and with grade braking, all three combined. That's our max, let's say, power cube braking capability that the truck provides. But we didn't stop there. We actually want to make the experience even easier and more intuitive to the customer, and we've integrated our cruise control strategy with it. So you can set it and in large part, forget about it. Maintain your speed up and down hills, up and down grades, and we've integrated all those features together in this truck. We didn't stop there. I think everyone's seen pictures of the truck. I think you'll agree with me, it's a beautiful front end, and probably the most dramatic part of the truck that we've changed, most visibly stunning one, is the hood scoop. We do have a patent pending air induction system. The hood scoop is functional, it's not decorative. I'm very proud of that. It looks great. We've also increased our def tank capacity, went from 5.3 gallons up to 7 gallons. And we've also upgraded our driveline components, including our front prop shaft got beefed up, as well as some of our rear prop shafts, and all of our driveline yokes have increased capability for the additional power and torque that we have put into the powertrain. So in summary, I'll just sort of recap for you. Again, power and torque numbers: 445 horsepower net, 910 pound-feet of torque. We have enhanced capability with our new turbo with the exhaust braking capability. We have lower noise in this engine, specifically on idle. We've achieved our emissions requirements. We've lowered our output in terms of NOx and other particulate emissions by 35%. We have uncompromised durability and reliability. Our customers really count on this powertrain to deliver that, and we've delivered that here. We have brought, as I mentioned, our controls in-house, and we've shared that across our product portfolio. So we get benefits across all of our product lines for doing that. And with that, we've added some enhanced features and capabilities, and we certainly pride ourselves on our ability to integrate powertrains with the rest of the truck. We do have some class first technologies in this truck, and as I mentioned before, we've upgraded our ALUSON transmission. So I think you've got a wonderful package to drive today. I'll be around. Dale Ehrlich will be around. He's one of our subject matter experts in development. Tom Dye will be around. He's another one of he's our lead development engineer on the project. So if I can't answer something for you, I'm sure Dale or Tom can. If not, we'll get you an answer as soon as we can. Okay. So thank you for that. I'm going to turn it over to Jerry to cover some protocol for our ride today. All right. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah, no problem. Good morning, everyone. So I want to touch on a few things. We've got some great vehicles.
Hey, Andre, the numbers that stand out for me
Yep.
are that they've increased the 0 to 60 time from by 7/10 of a second, so 7.1. They've also increased 0 to 60 towing 10,000 pounds by 1.5 seconds faster. Of course, 12% more torque. 19% more torque, 12% more power. That was a really inside baseball presentation, guys. So what we do is we take all that information, we actually talk to the engineers, and then if all goes well, we produce a video where we take all that and put it into a regular review. One of the questions that you guys had out there, which I think is important, is on that new hood scoop. You're wondering if like snow gets packed in there, and we talked to the chief engineer about that last night, and he said that the engine temperature actually melts the snow, so if it does get in there, it might get as far as the air filter, and then it melts. Leaves don't get in there. There's a little grid that keeps the leaves out, and yeah, pretty much inside baseball. Andre?
Yeah, there's also a secondary air intake. People don't realize that inside the fender there is a secondary path. So if you do have wet snow overnight or something like that on top of your hood, you can still start the engine and then melt the snow off the hood.
Yeah, so the last number that I want to give you is 90% new parts, so that engine really is all new. The two issues I want to ask about are the DEF fluid, right? In most Duramaxes it goes under the hood. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You got to get that thing way up over the fender. And of course, do they manage torque in first gear? How much torque do you get in first gear? So Andre, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to know efficiency. I mean, before they said they improved efficiency on this engine,
Yeah.
but we're actually going to be running these trucks on our efficiency loop as well. So we're going to get you some real world numbers for efficiency.
So stay tuned for all that. Thank you guys for joining us. I know this is a very long video, and it's live and the quality's not great, but we're doing our best to get you the information first. As always, this is Roman
And Andre.
saying thanks for watching, and see you guys next time, and thanks for joining us. And there'll be more Final Frontier videos coming as we take the little frontier to Moab today. Ciao.